Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video blog post. Today I want to talk about something that's super important and really forms the reason behind what we're doing here. And that is why using professional support and maintenance product can really put you over the top as a web development and design shop. Why is it that we're focusing on this and not another way of increasing your revenue or getting more recurring revenue? And that's because it's an incredible opportunity as of right now in the marketplace. And let me tell you a little story that sort of gets at why. This happened maybe 3 years ago. I'd been running our web development shop for maybe 5 or 6 years by then. We had maybe 5 or 6 employees, and I was over at the office of one of our clients. It was a design and branding shop out in Brooklyn that was doing a lot of work for nonprofits. And what they would do is they would get these website development projects. They would do the design and branding, and they would hire us to build out the whole project. You know, they were good designs, relatively complex projects, generally between $15K to $25K in that range. And in general, we were super happy to do them. And I remember being there one day. I walked in. There was a woman named Melissa who I was good friends with, and she said, "Hey, by the way, do you do smaller jobs?" And I'm like, "Well, kind of. Like, what do you mean smaller jobs?" And she said, "Well, we get all of these little tiny things from our past clients. They want us, let's say we've done a big project for them in the past. We did a rebranding, we did a website. And now they just want us to go and make a new graphic for the header, or they want to add something to their menu and they can't figure out how, or there's some bug that's arisen that they can't figure out how to crush, and they call us because we made the website, and we're not interested in these things. Like we don't generally do projects unless they're at least 30K in size or 20K in size. It's not worth it for us to even put a proposal out there for it." And she said, "We call these little jobs ankle biters, and we're just desperate to get rid of them. We just want to send these ankle biters to somebody that'll actually do it and take care of it." And I remember at the time, I'm like, we really don't do that. We generally do project-based work. We have a minimum of like 8K or 10K. We're not really set up to do these little tiny jobs. And I thought to myself, man, this is weird. Why? Here it seems to me there is a market mismatch. There are these people who want to pay somebody to do little fixes on their site. They're not ready to totally redo the site, but they want to do little fixes. And they can't find anybody willing to take the money and do a good job. Anyway, so once I started looking at this phenomenon, I saw it everywhere. Nobody was satisfying these ankle biters, at least nobody that good. So put yourself in the position of a small business or a nonprofit organization with a website. You've just done a 20 to 30K redesign project. Maybe you did it last year or the year before. But the site's getting on, a couple of years old. You have some things you want to fix, some things you want to change. You're not going to go back to your agency designer and branding person. They're not going to take the project. You're really not going to get an in with any quality, like high quality firm for less than like 5 or 10K. All you really have is something that needs fixing for like $500. So you're not going to go to a big reputable firm, right? So you're stuck with 2 routes. And this is where you see these clients going all the time. Number 1 is getting a friend or a cousin or somebody who knows somebody to do the job. Now that can work okay. Maybe. The small business has to cross fingers, hope the person's good, hope they respond. It's usually just a one-woman or one-man job, a shop that's doing it. Can work out fine. It's sometimes cheaper. On the other hand, if you're a small business and you're depending on this working, maybe you're not super satisfied with that level of security. So the other option you have is to post the job on like a job board, like an Upwork or a WordPress.org or a Drupal.org or wherever you're going to go. You can do that, but again, you may find somebody that'll do it. You generally won't find an agency or anybody reputable. And again, you're rolling the dice with quality. The other thing you can do if you're a small business, the third thing you can do if you're a small business or a nonprofit, is you can hire somebody to be a web developer for you. And that ends up being even more expensive than going the firm route, because you've got somebody who's going to make 60, 70, 80, 100, 120K, and then you've got the overhead for the person, and all that stuff. Plus, you don't know how to manage web developers. There's a whole other way of working if you're a web developer. What are you going to do when the person wants to work from home? You don't even know what they're doing. So these clients don't really have anywhere to go. They got to go with either a really expensive option, hiring somebody or hiring a firm, or a totally risky option, rolling the dice with a stranger, without like a real company behind them. So we thought, man, what we should do, because we're not a one-man shop anymore. We're 5-6 people, and we thought, well, let's put the weight of like a real reputable firm behind ourselves and make ourselves available for ankle biters. Let's get these little ankle biters. Let's collect, $500 jobs, $800 jobs. How would we do that? And that's where this whole genesis came from. And it's funny, a lot of web firms don't want to do this. They don't want to spend the time and energy it requires to set themselves up so that they can profitably address these small firms. A lot of us are focused on catching the next 10 grand job or the next 20 grand job or the next 30 grand job so that we can get off the sales train and focus on a bit of work for a while and actually do what we love doing, which is development. A lot of us just don't have the ability to juggle so many balls in the air and don't want to, just want to have one client or two clients instead of having a roster of clients that you do little bits of work for. Anyway, so when we realized this is a huge market opportunity, just gigantic, we thought, well, how can we set this up so that we can make it possible to profitably address these ankle biters without losing our minds because of the client volume, and fit into this market niche. So, and that's where this course came from. Is we transformed our company. We added this product to our company. We figured out how to deliver deliver on the promise of it. And now we're spreading the word. We're trying to help other people do the same thing. It really has changed our life dramatically, both from a revenue standpoint and a stress standpoint, to have a constant roster of clients that we do jobs for. Anyway, so that's the background to why this works, why this happens, and how you can use it as a way to set your flag into a viable market opportunity in the world now and kill it. All right, thanks, bye.